6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe, assisted by Chatura Jayashankar and read by Geetanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. Court cases will be filed against the suspects of Easter Sunday attacks within the next few days. Final report of the Easter Sunday attacks handed over to the Mahanayakas of the Ramanya and Amarapura chapters. Presidential colours awarded to 2 Air Force squadrons. The 13th Gambasamaga Pilisandrak program will be held tomorrow at Giribawa. The first consignment of vaccines under COAS facility will arrive in the country on Sunday. Burial of the bodies of COVID victims has commenced. News overseas, Pope Francis departs Rome for risky but historic Iraq tour. Sports cricket, England wraps up the T20 series with a 6-wicket win over New Zealand. Local news in detail now. Minister Sarath Weerasekara says that court cases will be filed against all suspects who are under custody in connection with the Easter Sunday attacks. A discussion in this regard took place yesterday between the councillors of the Attorney General's Department and CID officers. Court cases will be filed against 32 who are directly connected to the attacks. Apart from that, court cases will be filed against another 241 in custody. During a media briefing in Colombo today, Minister Sarath Weerasekara said that court cases will also be filed against a suspect who are connected to damaging Buddha statues, killing of Vaunathiu police officers and bombs in Vanathavilluwa. Statements have been recorded from 2,600 suspects who have been arrested in connection with Easter Sunday attacks. The minister said that strong evidence has been found against a majority of the suspects in custody. The President's Media Division says that copies of the final report of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry appointed to investigate and inquire into the Easter Sunday attacks have been handed over to the chief incumbent of the Ramanya and Amarapura chapters. The report has been presented to Mahanayaka of the Sri Lanka Ramanya Mahanikaya, Agamaha Pandita, Most Venerable Makulave Vimalanayaka Thero at the Vidyavasa Pirivena in Minioluwa, Mirigama last evening. Director General, Legal Affairs of the Presidential Secretariat, Harigupta Rohanadira, presented the report to the acting Mahanayaka Thera of the Amarapura Mahanikaya, Venerable Gantune Assajinayaka Thero at the Uggala Purana Viharaya in Kagala this morning. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has awarded colours to 2 squadrons of Sri Lanka Air Force in recognition of their services to the nation. The colours were awarded to No. 5 Attack Aircraft Squadron and No. 6 Transport Helicopter Squadron. The colour awarding ceremony took place this morning at the Katunayake Air Force Base. The President said that Air Force personnel who sacrificed their lives on behalf of peace in the country and performed their duties with dedication for 7 decades get the respect of the nation. He pointed out that the fundamental responsibility of armed forces, including the Air Force, is to continuously safeguard the nation. Sri Lanka Air Force has been awarded 13 presidential colours so far. The 13th Gambasamaga Pilisandrak program of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa will be held at Veragala Gramanilari division of the Giribawa Divisional Secretariat area in the Kurunegala district. The program will commence at 10 a.m. tomorrow at Maduragama Playground. The President launched Gambasamaga Pilisandrak program with the aim of providing speedy solutions to economic and social problems faced by the rural communities. The program was commenced on the 25th of September last year from the Badulla district. The Health Ministry said COVID-19 vaccines that are to be received on Sunday under the COVAX program of the World Health Organization would be administered to persons above 60 years living in high-risk areas. This consignment will be the first batch of vaccines granted by the WHO under COVAX facility. 264,000 doses are to be received. The WHO is to provide a total of 1.44 million doses. The total doses of vaccines are expected to be delivered to Sri Lanka by the end of May. The WHO has declared that about 25% of the Sri Lankan population would receive the vaccine under COVAX program. Burial of the bodies of COVID-19 victims has commenced. Head of the National Operations Centre to Prevent COVID-19, Army Commander Shavendra Silva said that 2 bodies were buried today at Ottamawadi village in Batticaloa. He said the burials were conducted without protest after briefing the public on the matter. The final report of the 2 presidential commissions of inquiry were handed over to the Speaker of the Parliament, Mahinda Abeyewardena, at the Parliament complex. One of the final reports submitted was the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into the political victimization of government officials, staff members of government corporation, members of the security forces and the members of the police department during the period of 8th of January 2015 to 16th of November 2019. The other Presidential Commission of Inquiry report was on the incident of fraud and misappropriations which have allegedly taken place at public institutions from the 14th of January 2015 to the 31st of December 2018. The final reports were handed over to the Speaker by Director General of Legal Affairs of the Presidential Secretariat, Harigupta Rohanedira, in the presence of Secretary General of Parliament, Dhammika Dasanayaka. The foundation stone was laid for Sri Lanka's first liquid natural gas power plant this morning under the patronage of the Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. It will be built at Kerawalapitiya Yugadanavu power plant premises. It is the first power plant that will be built after 2013. The Prime Minister said that the power plant will add 300 megawatts of power to the national grid, and the aim of the government is to develop renewable energy as the country's main energy source. Minister Dallas Alhabberuma said that the new power plant will meet 13% of electricity requirements in the country. Services of veteran lyricist and environmentalist Sunil Sarath Perera have been appreciated. A ceremony organized in connection with this was held this morning at the auditorium of the Ministry of Environment. Mr. Sunil Sarath Perera was appointed as the first brand ambassador of the Ministry of Environment. Today is also his 87th birthday. Minister Mahinda Amaravira attended the event as the chief guest. He was a former chairman of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Chairman of SLBC Jagath Wickramasinghe and Director General Chandrapala Liyanage were present at the ceremony. The Water Supply and Drainage Board says that water supply to several areas will be interrupted for 20 hours from 9 a.m. tomorrow to 5 a.m. on the following day due to a leak in the main pipeline which takes water from Ambatale Water Purification Plant to Kolonnawa. The Water Board said water supply to Kolonnawa Urban Council area, Rajagiriya, Moragasmulla, Obesekarapura, Bandaranayakapura, Nawala, Koswatta Main Road and all its by roads from Rajagiri to Nawala, Open University will be suspended during that period. Indian Revenue Department has been summoned again before the Committee on Public Accounts on Wednesday to review the progress of tax and penalty collection. The Committee on Public Accounts came to a decision during its meeting held on the 6th of January to publicize all the institutions which have failed to pay the due levy. The members of the COPA will inquire the measures taken by the Inland Revenue Department to collect the tax due. In addition, the Sri Lanka Customs has been summoned before the COPA on Tuesday. Education under the arts stream and the unemployment of arts graduates will be discussed on the 23rd of March. The Inland Revenue Department is scheduled to be reconvened on the 24th of March, and the Wildlife Conservation Department has been summoned before the COPA Committee on the 25th of March. The United Nations Resident Coordinator in Sri Lanka, Hannah Singer-Hamty, said this year International Women's Day celebrates the tremendous efforts by women and girls around the world and their role in shaping a more equal future and recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. Key to this recovery is sustainable and inclusive development, which she added relies on ending discrimination towards women. She said they cannot deliver on their promise of leaving no one behind in development if half of the world is left underrepresented in places of power, excluded from decision-making, or marginalized and harmed. She pointed out contributions like those from Deputy Inspector General Jasing Arachi, Ms. Cheraraja, Dr. Ramasamy, and countless others demonstrate women's effective leadership in many fields, including the COVID-19 response and recovery efforts. The Northern Provincial Director of Health Services, Dr. A. Katheswaran, said another 13 people have been confirmed to be infected with the coronavirus in the Northern Province Northern Province. Out of the 309 PCR tests conducted yesterday at the Jaffna University Medical Faculty Laboratory, 10 have been confirmed to be infected with COVID-19. 2 more have been identified as infected in the Jaffna and Unduil areas. PCR tests on 451 people conducted at the Jaffna Teaching Hospital yesterday found 3 more infected persons. 1 was admitted to the Jaffna Teaching Hospital and the other 2 were admitted to the Mannar Hospital. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The Speed Investment Plan from Sri Lanka Insurance. Give a high five to life.
The Secretary to the Provincial Ministry of Agriculture, A. Sivapala Sundaran, says that the long-standing vacancies for agriculture instructors in the Northern Province have been filled. Accordingly, 24 agricultural instructors have been appointed, letters from Governor of the Northern Province, PSM Charles, today. The Secretary to the Northern Province Ministry of Agriculture said that agricultural instructors will carry out their duties in 5 districts of the Northern Province. Samaki Jana Balawegaya has decided to support the Black Sunday declared by the Archdiocese of Colombo, demanding justice for the victims of 2019 Easter Sunday terror attacks. In a media release issued today, SJB General Secretary MP Ranjith Bandumawandara said, "It is regrettable that the recommendations of the Presidential Commission has failed to fulfill their expectations." He urged the government to reveal the masterminds who were responsible for the attack. That ends local news for now, and the main news story follows.
Introducing Speed Investment with Sri Lanka Insurance, the only insurance policy that increases your sum assured by 5% every year for the same premium amount. You also get a bonus payment at maturity. What better plan to have when you can invest now and relax later? The Speed Investment Plan from Sri Lanka Insurance. Give a high five to life. Sri Lanka Insurance. Like a father, like a mother.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The Ministry of Health says that another 485 COVID patients have recovered and discharged from hospitals within the last 24 hours. This brings the total number of COVID-19 recoveries in the country to 81,321. A total of 84,610 cases of coronavirus have been reported in Sri Lanka so far, while 2,800 of them are currently under medical care. The country's death toll due to the virus stands at 489. That was our main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
In Watchlight this evening, the Colombo Stock Exchange, in collaboration with the Securities and Exchange Commission, is hosting the inaugural Issuer Forum for 2021 on the theme Founder to Family, Leveraging Going Public at the Shangri-La Hotel Colombo on the 16th of March 2021 from 5:30 p.m. onwards. The event will highlight how a family business can take advantage of going public while ensuring the family retains control and continues to guide the vision of the business. More information on the program can be obtained via the stock exchange website www.cse.lk. That came to you in Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always.
All you need under one roof.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Headlines of the world news. Pope Francis departs Rome for risky but historic Iraq tour. China rebounds with economic growth target above 6%. Streaming giants on edge as Amazon gets flack for hurting religious beliefs in India. World news in detail now. Pope Francis left Rome today to start a 4-day trip to Iraq, his most risky foreign trip since his election in 2012 and the first visit by a pontiff to the country. An Alitalia airplane carrying the 84-year-old Pope, his entourage, a security detail, and about 75 journalists left Rome to Leonardo da Vinci Airport to the Iraqi capital, Baghdad. Iraq is deploying thousands of additional security personnel to protect Francis during the visit, which comes after a spate of rocket and suicide bomb attacks raised fear for his safety. China is aiming for an economic growth rate above 6% in 2021, after scrapping its target last year. China's Premier Li Keqiang announced the target today at the opening of this year's National People's Congress. The target marks a return to strong growth after the COVID-19 pandemic impacted the world's second-largest economy. The new target highlights the Chinese economy's strong rebound after the pandemic shutdowns led to a sharp 6.8% contraction in the first quarter of 2020. Controversy in India over Amazon's political drama Tandev has put Bollywood and global video streaming giants on edge, prompting a closer scrutiny of scripts for possible offense to religious sentiments in a key growth market. This comes as Amazon Prime Video has become embroiled in legal cases and police complaints alleging Tandev depicts Hindu gods and goddesses in a derogatory manner and offends religious beliefs. Before we end this bulletin of world news, a reminder of the headlines once again. Pope Francis departs Rome for risky but historic Iraq tour. China rebounds with economic growth target above 6%. Streaming giants on edge as Amazon gets flack for hurting religious beliefs in India. That was world news.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by Navia along with CIB from 1st to 15th March. Valuable gifts for every bill payment. Our products, our place. CIB.
In development news, Fisheries Minister Douglas Devananda has said that the government has proposed a plan to develop maritime cruise tourism. He said that the economy of the northern province can be improved. The maritime tourist project will be a triangular zone covering Jaffna, Talemannar and Colombo. That was development news. And in sports news, cricket, England wrapped up the series with a comfortable 6-wicket win in the second 2020 against New Zealand in Wellington. After being put in, New Zealand was restricted to 123 for 9, with Freya Davies taking a career best of 4 for 23, including top scorer Amy Satterthwaite for 49. England recovered from 30 for 2 in reply, with Tammy Beaumont making a 53-ball 63 in a stand of 83 with Heather Knight. Amy Jones hit the winning runs as England won with 16 balls to spare. Sailing, the 36th America's Cup will begin with the first 2 races next Wednesday. Organisers confirmed today after the New Zealand government announced the strict coronavirus lockdown in host city Auckland would be eased on Sunday morning. The first 4 races in the contest for the oldest trophy in international sport were scheduled for Saturday and Sunday in Auckland but postponed after the New Zealand government announced a 7-day lockdown in the city last weekend. Formula One, Porsche and parent company, the Volkswagen Group, are considering entering Formula One. Any move depends on the direction of the sport's next engine regulations, which are due to be introduced in 2025. Porsche Motorsport Vice President Fitz Ensinger told media it would be of great interest if the implementation of e-fuels play a role in that. That was sports news.
Development News was brought to you by Nivea along with CIB from 1st to 15th March. Valuable gifts for every bill payment. Our products, our place. CIB. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
The global communication campaign, conceptualized to promote Sri Lanka as a tourism destination, will see its launch expedited as the island nation eyes to capitalize on first-mover advantage in being among the first countries to open doors to international visitors. According to Sri Lanka Tourism, the new normal has made it compulsory for the country to launch the campaign so that it remains competitive in the global tourism market and make the most of the innovative reopening model adopted by the country, which has been held internationally. That was Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic News, courtesy of...
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Sri Lanka's first national financial inclusion strategy launched yesterday. It aims to make financial services more accessible, efficient and affordable for all households and businesses in the country. It is a joint effort led by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka with technical and financial assistance from IFC, a member of the World Bank Group. The development of this strategy was a multi-stakeholder effort supported by the government of Sri Lanka. The new strategy highlights Sri Lanka's gains in boosting access to financial services and particularly in areas of improvement to ensure usage and full financial inclusion in the country. That was Business News. That was Economic News.
Congratulations on your promotion. Heard you gave a treat for everyone in your department yesterday.
Yeah.
It will be our treat, huh?
Well, how about today?
Oh, no, I was just joking. We'll have a party with your new salary.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
In the weather report, the Met Department says showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in most provinces of the island in the evening or night. Fairly heavy falls, about 75 millimeters, can be expected at some places in the central, Sabaragamuwa, Uva and southern provinces. Several spells of showers will occur in the eastern and north-central provinces and in the Hambantota district during the morning too. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the central, Sabaragamuwa, Uva and western provinces during the morning. That was the weather report, and before we end this news broadcast, the headlines once again. Court cases will be filed against the suspects of Easter Sunday attacks within the next few days. Final report of the Easter Sunday attacks handed over to the Mahanayaka of the Ramanya and Amarpura chapters. Presidential colours awarded to 2 Air Force squadrons. The 13th Gamasamga Pilsandrak program will be held tomorrow at Giribewa. The first consignment of vaccines under COVAX facility will arrive in the country on Sunday. Burial of the bodies of COVID victims has commenced. News overseas, Pope Francis departs Rome for risky but historic Iraq tour. Sports, cricket, England wraps up the T20 series with a 6-wicket win over New Zealand. That ends this evening's news broadcast, and over to Victor Raj and Indrani on the other side.